Hello Internet, this is LordMaddog and I'm coming at you with another tutorial from my Souls-like template. This tutorial is going to be about sound. So before I had my sounds all scattered throughout the system, and if you want to change the sounds, it would have to track them down and it would take quite a long time. So this tutorial is after I have gone ahead and changed things up a good bit and put a lot of things into data tables. So we're going to go over that right now. Let's jump in. First ones we're going to talk about is footsteps. So, that's not footsteps. Right, here's footsteps. Footsteps were originally were like this. So what would happen is that Enemy Notify would send you the detail from the left or right foot. If the footstep would happen, it would fire down and get the material underneath it, and then it would select the material, and then you would have to manually select every single one of the stones, and then the sounds, and then the particle effect you wanted to play. So I have gone ahead and changed it into a data table. Right here is now the data table and how it selects the sounds. Here, if we go back over sound over here, we have the default sounds we're walking on. It'll be stone, metal, stone footsteps. We have grass, we have dirt, we have water, we have snow, we have wood because there's no flesh, and there's ice and more wood. So obviously you can now change all of these right easy and make it so it'll play all across the board except for the Frost Giant. Frost Giant has its own custom sound steps. All right. And what's really good about this is because it is a structure already. So if we open up the structure, we can come in here, and if we wanted to have another sound base set up for like if the player is wearing chainmail or maybe heavy mail armor, and then we can just add a new one, and then we'll come up with a way to play that new sound. Right now, I don't have anything set up for that, but it makes it very easy for you to do that. All right, now let's go ahead and actually test that. It's not going to be any much different than what it was before because it's basically just updating the system so actually have access to it. So right there, you can see the player is running around and stepping in the snow, and while over here, we're rocking on stone. And if I fly out over here, fly out over there, without arguing any enemies, we jump over here. And you can hear the walking on ice. And we can also hear him walking on ice and hitting me. All right. So the next thing I did is I added NPC voice sounds. So if we come over here, we have NPC voice sounds. This is basically, I'm trying to make it so all NPCs are easier to change instead of having to go back and change the different things. Because like the Frost Giant, the Gruntling is the one I used a lot of, and they're all right here. I have a lot of enemies tied to the Gruntling. So if I can find here's Gruntling enemy. We have set up, it's over here now in the corner. If I go sound, it'll be in the manually changed variables. It'll be DT NPC voice sound Gruntling. And the good thing about this change is if you don't want to go ahead and change the setups, right here we have sound setup. This is our data table. It starts at the very beginning of begin play. And if it does not find this variable here right now, if it has none, it will just stay with the component sounds. So you don't have, if your old system is already there, it won't change anything. So your components and your component sounds, which I had already talked about this earlier, it's NPC sounds, and in the other tutorial. All right, that is this one. And I could go ahead and hit an enemy, but you already know what the enemies sound like when I'm hitting them. So let's go on into the bigger one, the one that makes the most difference to the setup, and that is our physics sounds. Now this one's a massive overhaul, and it won't change anything feeling wise in the game, but it really makes stuff easy to change. So metal, like metal against metal. So if we have a sword hit metal, metal hit grass. So this is basically right now the only thing this is affecting is the player weapons, but later on this will make it very easy for if you want to have like the items that are bouncing around on the what's it called, you can easily have it use this data table to be able to do different things. So if I go here and my base weapon, the old base weapons hit sounds. This isn't the hit sounds base weapons. This is sound select right here. spot hit effect right here. The old one was just pretty much like I had set up for the footsteps. You had to go in here, and every single weapon had to have its own setup here, and you had to change it manually. So now the data table will go in here, and it'll look for the material effect of the weapon. So you have to make sure that you change the material effect of your weapon. So like a copper sword, if I come to my copper sword, my static mesh, and I go to my copper sword material instance, I open it up, we're going to have it be, I think it's metal. Yep, definitely. Its copper sword is a metal. So if it hits metal, it'll make a metal against metal sound. That's over here in this thing. So metal against metal, sword hit metal. All right. And so what else do I have? Like a copper sword, I have the pickaxe. Do I have the no, I don't have. So my copper sword and the pickaxe, it does the same thing. As you've got to change its material. So I'll show you just examples of this really quick. So I have 3 different weapons right here. So this weapon here is a crusted blade. I'm considering it as a stone weapon. So when it hits you hear that? There, we're hitting stone against stone. Kind of like that. And if these things didn't break so fast, you could hear it hitting wood, but they break a little too easy for that to happen. But here, if I hit stone against metal, here, oops. Oh, that's a bit loud, but yes, stone against metal. And if I change my weapon here to a copper sword, which is a metal, obviously, so we're going to have metal against... Ouch. Here, let's beat this guy up. Or don't let him beat me up. Come here, yo. There. It totally take 1 hit. Come on. I ran out of stamina. Okay. Sorry for the slight lag, because I'm recording at 4K. So it'll be a slightly laggy. All right. Okay. So you can see here. So every item has, like, I don't have a material effect set on these things right here. These ones do not have their own material physics set up, so they'll just play the default one. So you would have to go through the world and make sure you have every single physics ones actually set up, so you have different sounds. So that's default sound of a sword hitting just default, hit hard object or something. So we got stone, and then if you come over here and I hit the sword against metal again, there you have metal against metal. And if I switch to a wooden sword, here we go. I target another NPC. You can hear, yep, a wood sword, wood hitting. Ouch. Oh, okay. Don't need to beat the crap out of me. I ran out of stamina. I'm trying to jump up and do a death blow on her, but I didn't have the stamina to do it. That's what happened. It's like, why did you attack it? Because you don't have the stamina. Okay, so that is what I have done, and it makes it very easy for you to change any of these sounds. So now, right now, a lot of these sounds will be repetitive because I do not have a lot of sounds myself, but it really makes it open up for you to change anything you want. So you can have these different setups, and I think this total of 99. Now, obviously, you're probably going to want to add more even. So that's if you go into your e-physics. So that's a little bit harder to get to. That's project settings. I think it's physics sounds. I'm not quite sure. You have to look it up exactly where that's at. And your e-physics, I'm not quite sure where that's actually at. But like, you're probably going to want to add like sand and different things. And then once you do that, you're going to want to come in here to your data table and add the sand against sand, sand against metal, and that way you have the different ones, even with your footsteps. So we have basically, we've only got a certain amount. These are all the different types of different effects we have now. But if you add more to your project physics setup, you can easily do that. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. If you have, likes, shares, and comments are always welcome. And if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask. LordMaddog signing off.